Yeah, as we all know, the current demand situation is not the best. Everyone's a little bit worried about the slow demand. And naturally, there's a lot of capacities coming online in Europe. That creates a big worry for the industry. Nevertheless, one needs to remember that in the last years, it's been very easy to make money. Everyone has been making money, even the capacities that are not so competitive. So that ultimately means that at the moment, the less competitive capacities are under pressure. So one can expect naturally that margins with declining margins, there will also be capacities disappearing, which should then also help a little bit the supply and demand balance going forward. Yeah, for the industry, corrugated converting plants, the focus at the moment is clearly on volume. Everyone is desperately or less desperately trying to capture some volume because of the demand situation. So it's looking internally, inward, in terms of cost reduction is necessary. Efficiency improvements are important. So you could say it's more an inward look. Strategic topics are maybe a little bit more on the back burner. That's also shown through the various studies that we have done. Nevertheless, while the strategic topics such as sustainability are not explicitly in focus, they are implicitly a need because of the sustainable advantage of the products in this industry. So going out and selling becomes easier because there's just very great sustainable products that can be put on the market. Top 3 opportunities going forward for sure from a European perspective will be M&A and consolidation. That's for sure something that is on the agenda, and times like these are also supporting such moves for those companies who are healthy, for sure. The other part is looking inward in terms of cost improvements, efficiency improvements, also tapping those topics that are yet untapped, driving change, process innovation, and also making more radical changes because the economic situation forces more radical step changes, which then automatically also needs to be supported through new technology. So from that perspective, using technology, AI, wisely to also go for the next level of improvements, while at the same time clearly capturing cost and productivity benefits. The M&A is clearly on, or it can be expected that will be on the agenda. It is on the agenda always in this industry. Naturally, the current shift in terms of demand down, profitability down, but that also, and interest rates up, you might argue that it's a difficult time. Nevertheless, for any company that is healthy, has a good balance sheet, has cash, it's an opportunity. Additionally, as we have seen now through this mega merger between Smurfit Kappa and WestRock, that's probably going to drive also further M&A activity. We also need to consider that in Europe we are much more fragmented than, for example, in the US. The US can be considered to some degree a certain benchmark, even if it's not 100% comparable due to the market structure and players in Europe, but it can certainly be expected that we will see more M&A activity. Talent management and attraction is dear to the heart of this industry. It's also something that we always look at, and the industry is very concerned about it. There's multiple factors. On the one side, in Europe, we have an aging workforce, so we have people disappearing from the market. People tend to have worked in this industry a long time of the years. The expectation or the reality has been that people stayed in the paper mills or the converting plants, anywhere in the industry for more than 10 or 20 or even 30 years. That's of course something that is changing. There is naturally the effect that we are then short. The perception is that we are short of the skills that are then leaving, but I think the industry needs to reinvent itself. The higher churn rates will and are the new reality. The next generation is also not willing to work the long overtime hours nor the shift systems of the past. So what that means, on the one side there is a shortage, but the industry also needs to reinvent itself. First of all, the industry is a great industry. It has a sustainable footprint. It can attract and does attract talent, but the work models need to be shifted. We need to do more with less. We need to look across the traditional boundaries for sure. And we need to use technology. So one answer will be doing more with less also drives automation. That is clear. We are also already seeing that in places where there is an absolute shortage of qualified and less qualified labor. So automation clearly, but also providing more attractive jobs to the industry for people for the future.